Hi guys, how's things? It's Wednesday, it's 7 o'clock, so we are live. How is everyone? If anyone is out there and can see this, it would be fantastic if you could drop a like, drop a comment, say hello, and yeah, just let us know that you can see this because there can be a bit of a delay and it just helps a notification go out to Facebook. So there's a couple of people on already. So yeah, I am just going to send out this link to a few people that had asked for a reminder whenever we went live. So I can see us live now. I'm just going to like that myself. And yeah, in terms of this evening, slightly different. We have the newest member of the iGen entrepreneur team. It's going to be a really good live, I think. Liam's big crack, as to say, and yeah, he's looking forward to speaking to everyone. So I'm just going to start sharing this this link out to everyone who's asked for it. So Liam Seery-Eastell, without any further ado, if you'd like to say hello, introduce yourself, and so on and so forth, I'll pass over to you.
Hey, good evening, guys. Nice to be here. So yeah, I'm Liam. I'm the new business development coach here at iGen Entrepreneur. I've been brought in sort of a few weeks ago. But I have sort of been in and around iGen for probably the last 9 months or so. When I met Luke in Mexico, round about, I think it was maybe August, September time, and he came out to meet me. So we've sort of stayed in touch ever since. But yeah, so far so good. It's been good. I've already had a lot of calls with some of you guys from the group. I'm not sure if any of you are on there now, but I've got lots of people that I've been speaking with, lots of people we've been having calls with. I've been taking through our suite of courses and having lots of success already. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting stuck in with some of you.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be good, Liam, if you could start from kind of the beginning, you know, a little bit about you, where you're based. I mean, I was quite worried because I'm a big Manchester United fan, and Luke said we've got this guy coming in from Leeds, and I was like, this is gonna be a HR issue. We're gonna have to.
No, I'm one of Leeds'. I'm one of Leeds' only Man United fans. Now, I'm actually from closer to Bradford, about 4 miles from Bradford, about 10 from Leeds. So, but more out in sort of the countryside. So yeah, I suppose the last couple of years for me that's led me to this point. I always had a kind of a corporate background. A lot of kind of sales management, business development, that type of thing within banks and insurance companies. I touched in insolvency for a while, worked on IVAs, that kind of thing. But a couple of years ago, I was managing a department within an American insurance company in Leeds, and I'd kind of had enough. Going in on the train every day, felt like I was selling my soul a little bit. My wife and I, we decided we don't want children. We've been together 17 years. We don't want children. So at that point, it was like, right, enough is enough. So we rented our house out. We saved up for 6 months and we went traveling. We did Canada, America, right through California. We landed into North Mexico for about 9 weeks a couple of years ago and stayed at this beautiful B&B that an old American artist ran. We got quite close with him over the time we were there, and his health, his mobility was getting quite bad. So he asked if I'd go out, and he'd run it for 40 years on his own, and he asked if I'd go out and kind of take over the reins. So we came back. The pandemic started as we were coming back. So we battled through the pandemic, worked, furloughed, all that. Got out there last year around April, May time. Everything went well. The business was booming, and then the owner got really sick, sadly. I became his 24/7 carer. We had no income, and then he died on me kind of November time. And it was around then I'd started looking for online work, started looking into the Amazon side of things, met a lot of experts, met a few people in California that were consultants, and came across Luke. So I came across him. We spent some time in California, then flew to the Caribbean coast in Mexico just to sit out the pandemic really with our savings. And I kept speaking with Luke. He showed me his courses. They looked like nothing I'd seen, and I really had kind of studied the market. But I was a bit too scared to go with it at the time because I had, a few grand in the bank. I'm in a different country. There's a pandemic, so we didn't go with it. I wish I had, because I know there's individuals now that signed up that month that are doing crazy well. But I still stayed in touch. I was so impressed with Luke, and I told him, I'm going to, as you start expanding, I'm going to come and work for you one day. So we did. I started doing a few consulting calls for him this last few months. I've now been taken on full time. So yeah, I can give sort of iGen my full focus, and start helping Luke build things out, and start helping some of you guys as well.
Wow. So it's kind of went full circle then, really. From halfway across the world, traveling, living that nomad lifestyle, that laptop lifestyle as everyone talks about, and coming back home, and you're now, I think your plan, Liam, is you're kind of hoping to get to go again. Yeah,
I'll be gone. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I've manifested this situation. Like, my dream really, the traveling we've done over the last couple of years, it was like save up a shed load of money, rent our house out, go and just enjoy it, no working or anything. But I can't. I've done that twice now. I'm 36 years old. I can't. Coming back with nothing and starting again in a grey city in England is tough. So this time, I'm going to be. And when it's a work, the position I'm in now, it's a work from anywhere position. I'm also about to open my own store at some point. So yeah, I'll be back on a beach before winter sets in for sure.
Cool. Are you going back to Mexico? Or
no, I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. I think because of restrictions and things this year, I think my aim, I'd like to get over to I don't know, somewhere like the Canaries for the winter. We love the Canary Islands. It's a lot closer, same time zone, that kind of thing. Good Wi-Fi. But yeah, next year I'm hoping to do a few pit stops. I want to get back. We've got a lot of friends in California, and I've got family in British Columbia and Canada, so and we've got a lot of places we can stay. So as long as I can go somewhere, they can put me up, and there's a good Wi-Fi signal, then I'm good to go.
Good to go. Love it. Class. So I think we'll talk a bit more about kind of Liam's journey and things like that. We'll kind of be opening up to questions and things later on. So we've got 15 people watching at the moment, guys. So if there's any kind of questions or anything like that, if you want to put some questions up in the live chat, that would be great. So yeah, I mean, it's funny because it's like, obviously e-commerce businesses kind of remove the restrictions of kind of time and space when it comes to selling online, and there's a lot of kind of parallels to what you're doing with iGen and kind of what we're helping other people do. So
100%, 100%. Yeah, it's a lot of people I'm speaking to have got kind of the same why as me. And it was everybody. I met so many people while we were away, and it was just, I was kind of dwindling down my little bit of savings, and I'm sat up on a rooftop with somebody that's sat tapping away next to me, earning a living. So to me, if you can do that, initially, I didn't think it was going to go down the route of me coming to work for iGen. I've purchased a course. I've near enough gone through my own course. But as I saw more of it, as I saw iGen growing, as I saw the content of the courses and the sort of plans Luke had, I just wanted a piece of it. So to me, I'm kind of all in. And then if I can have my own shop running as well, then that's kind of an absolute bonus. But I'd be silly not to. I'm sort of surrounded by people that are smashing it at the moment. So why wouldn't I?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's if anyone's got a £2 coin in their pocket, pull out £2 coin and read along the edge. There's a quote from Sir Isaac Newton. Paraphrase it. It's what was the quote? I'm going to make an embarrassment of myself here. If I have seen further than any other man, it is because I stand on the shoulders of giants. So there you go. So that's written on all £2 coins. So there he is, our own Liam. Yeah, picking up tips and tricks and things from everyone else in the group. So
absolutely.
Fair play, Liam. Yeah. I mean, in terms of like, we had obviously that meeting. Geez, was that only last weekend?
It's been a long week since, hasn't it? Yeah, it's literally so not even a week. Yeah, a week, just over a week.
Yeah, so we sort of met and sat down and sort of finalized some goals and kind of visions for iGen over the next few years, and Liam's going to be a big part of that. Very, very exciting. And I mean, in terms of not giving too much away, Liam, would you say that helps people kind of buy into iGen, say on like a discovery call or a strategy call, that you would spend time with them?
Yeah. I mean, do you mean what sort of things we cover on the call?
Yeah.
Yeah, so people I've been speaking with, I know as standard iGen, there'll be so many sort of strategy calls given free each month to certain people. We've been able to up that a little bit now with me coming in, and I'm just I'm getting on the phone or on Zoom calls with as many of you as I can, because I want to start understanding people's situations, their issues, what struggles they're facing, what stages they're at, so that we can work our courses around it. And the good thing is the courses that are in place are absolutely superb. It's the reason, if they weren't, I wouldn't have quit my job and be sat here now. Like, they're outrageously good, and I've spent a lot of time looking into them. A lot of the high-end, well thought of American ones I've been and sat seminars with. And there's nowhere that's got the level of content, the level of care, and the main thing is the ethics behind it. It's very ethical. Luke's not somebody that's out to make a quick dollar. Like some of these companies, they'll make a load of money this year or two and then they'll disappear. Like Lloyd just said, we just spent 2 days in Liverpool mapping out the next 10 years. You know, we want to be a brand and build out. So that's why we do help. It is genuine. The products that we have are genuine. The results that we get are genuine. Yeah, it's a completely different kettle of fish, and the price points as well. I think a lot of people understandably reluctant to sort of invest any money in themselves at them early stages, but I haven't met anybody that hasn't put the money in at the early stage and has made a success. If you're lucky, you'll make early success, but when you get to the point of big money coming in, you'll start crumbling. Like I've already signed a guy onto a course a couple of days ago. Similar situation. He's got, he'd be making the best part of 20,000 a month coming in. He was in an absolute mess. So that's because he didn't have the systems in place, and that's what I see as being the main issue. People are going out there blind. Yeah, we found some products. They'll sell for double. We're trying to help people make it be a sustainable business, making sure every aspect, there's so many moving parts, making sure that your return on investment strong enough to get the kind of profit that you're looking for, making sure you're buying the right products, training you how to analyze the products, so you know when they're going to sell, how much they're going to sell for, what your return's going to be. That in turn allows you to build out a long-term business model. And these are all things that we go through on the call. We go through spreadsheets of financials to show you exactly where we can guide you, and the different packages that might be right for you, the different types of payment options, even to the point where we offer out an iGen affiliation. We offer you a partnership to even make some of your money back again. So we very much want to try and get as many people on these blueprints and successful as possible without charging the earth, and making sure that you've got the right kind of support. And a big part about this that puts us different to anywhere else that I've looked at is we qualify people coming onto the courses. So already this last few weeks, I've turned a lot of people down. I spoke to a guy in Chicago. He'd looked through all the course. He thought everything was absolutely fantastic. He was almost begging to come on it. I showed him the detail, and compared to the courses he'd been on or looked at in America, it was a fraction of the cost and about 5 times more comprehensive. But his views were unrealistic. His outcome was unrealistic. He'd lost his job, and within the next 60 days, he needed to start taking $3,000 or $4,000 out of his business. Which that's him. Yeah. He needs a quick fix. We're not a quick fix. We want you to run a business that is going to have longevity, right to the point then of you stepping back from it, putting systems in place, and having it as a complete residual income. That's the aim.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that chap. You can't. It's just unrealistic, and it's not worth. Getting someone set up on false pretenses, really.
Well, it's only going to paint a bad picture of the brand as well. Again, the aim is that every person that goes into the course does really well, recommends somebody else, and we end up with a big family of people all helping each other to do well. And that's the kind of feel that it is, and that's what I'm trying to drive as well. That kind of, so we only want a certain type of people on, and the way that we get around that, these calls are good for both sides. If you want a call, we can have a chat, and if I think you qualify, we'll give you a free call. And either way, you're going to get some sound advice. I feel like I've saved a lot of people a lot of time and money already, even if they've not signed with the course, just by advising them and giving some solid advice on. I mean, it's an absolute minefield out there. You've got to be very careful on who you trust and who you're handing your money over to.
One of the phrases that Luke uses very often is scaling problems. So if you've got a business doing lots of different things and it's small and you don't have the right, well, the reason the program is called a blueprint program is because that's what we hand you. We hand you blueprint systems in place so that you're not scaling problems, which can come up when you're going through that threshold, when you're starting to bring more things in the business, or you're maybe trying to spend more time in it, you maybe go part-time in work. So big thing that we help with is from the start. And I think there's a questions that's come up, but we'll cover questions in a moment, because I mean, a lot of what you've said, Liam, was a big part of why I joined iGen, because I mean, I was going to say earlier on, like, I was always very happy to run my own business. I didn't particularly want the responsibility of, helping other people. I've always liked helping other people. I think mum and dad always thought I was going to be a teacher. But when you see how much bad information there is online and in Facebook groups, and I mean, it's one thing. I mean, you can look at it. You can look at it several different ways. I mean, you can look at Amazon, and Amazon business is a bit of a hobby. So a lot of people look at it as a bit of a hobby, something to do in their spare time. So if your hobby is angling, if you're a fisherman, fisher person, whatever, and you take some bad advice, you know, you might not catch a fish. If your hobby is, I don't know, supporting Manchester United, and there's some bad information online, it doesn't really make a difference. But if your hobby and your spare time and your energy is going into something that you need to invest money in, you want to make sure that the people behind that information are genuine. So for me, I've been selling for nearly 5 years now, a team of six VAs, with another VA starting tomorrow. I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt. So when I was speaking to Luke about this, I was very clear that, yeah, I wanted to see everything, and ultimately it has helped my business. So when I'm in a call, I can say, I'll walk you around my business. And one of the phrases that we have within iGen is, don't tell someone something that you can show them. So all our calls are like this. They're on Zoom calls. You can jump on, you can see my business, you can see what we do each day, you can see numbers as well if you're interested in that. So that was a big part of why I felt I was comfortable joining. And the other thing to kind of reiterate and emphasize with our Blueprint program and the other programs that we offer, they're done with you. They're not DIY courses. I have bought DIY courses where they're pre-recorded videos. You watch 20 hours and that's it. You don't hear from anyone. You don't speak to anyone, and that's it. You're left to do it yourself. This is a done with you course. It's not done for you. We cannot do the work, but we will give you absolutely everything that you need. Everyone that joins the Blueprint program is assigned a success manager, so you're handheld through the different stages of getting started, scaling, whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. So that was a big part of why I was comfortable to join. I love it. It's great. Absolutely great. And I mean, we are, if we're talking money and things, not giving too much away. There are guarantees that we've put in place as well. We're comfortable to do that. I've put guarantees in place for all the clients that have joined. And in terms of money back guarantees, we haven't had to fulfill that out of nearly, I think we're up to about 110 people signed up. So,
and that's because the content's so strong, and that's something that I've not come across on a lot of the courses that I've looked at. The reason you're not going to get any form of guarantees is because the product is substandard and every other person would be walking away. But I've never, I mean, if you jump on it, it's very hard to explain. I had a conversation with somebody on Messenger earlier, and I was trying to get across to them just the level of detail that the course goes into, and without showing you, it's impossible. But you do have like a video series that is, and it's not just somebody talking at you. You've got Luke and other experts physically showing you every step of the way, right through from an introduction to Amazon to really in-depth modules on how to manually source, how to do advanced sourcing, right through to putting admin systems in place. But every tiny detail is covered, and it's one of them, like, if you don't have a kind of a blueprint or somebody that's a master at it showing you, you're going to end up wasting a fortune. And that's what I've been trying to get across to people I've been speaking to. Investing early on, or within that first few months or within that first couple of years, is only going to save you time and money in the long run. Like some of the courses we run are more advanced, so we have courses that it might be once you're already at that 2-3 year stage, and we can then put you on a course where you'll physically have either a 1-on-1 or a 1-on-4 with Luke. You'll have numerous, either 8 or 13 calls. And that is like, you've got a blueprint of how to do it. And then you've got a master, somebody that knows it inside out, structuring your business for you, holding you to business plans. Like, we really do cater for kind of all areas. And it's surprisingly comprehensive and surprisingly affordable. I'm sure some of you have looked into some of the courses. I mean, some of the one-to-one courses I've seen in America where you're getting that 1-on-1 with somebody that's already successful, $12,000, $15,000, and the content is nowhere near it, and our prices are not even in that same stratosphere. So well worth looking into. We can map it out with you. We can show you how it will work. We can go through the figures, you know, how much you're going to put in, what we can get you to. We really will sort of go to town. We'll help you with a strategy either way, and we'll show you that the course is right for you. And if it's not, then you won't be allowed onto the course anyway, and we'll just give you the advice. So again, a lot more ethical. We're not just out to make money off every single person. We're trying to sort of build a community around it.
Yeah, and as well as all of that, I mean, the reason why Eamon's not chipping in is that Eamon's coaching at the moment. So we have a private Mastermind Facebook group for all the Blueprint students. There's a live happening tonight. Jump on, speak to Eamon, get your question answered. Or if, for whatever reason, and I forgot who's playing the football tonight, but if you want to watch the football, you can throw up a question in the agenda, have that question answered, and then watch the replay. So everyone who's part of the Blueprint program, you can access all the recordings over the last year as well. So you've got all that as well. Eamon is multitasking. I can't see who's left that comment about being an incredible head of department, but I've got a very good guess. Hello to the Isle of Man. Hello to our affiliate in the Isle of Man. So, yes, yeah, I mean, in terms of like the rest of the blueprint, I think now that we're coming around to nearly a year of kind of the initial students that are onto it, it's really interesting to see what stage they're at after a year. There's been some real success stories as well. I'm sure they don't mind me saying, but Simon Andrews has just taken on his 6th VA from Thomas Parkinson. Simon got signed up to Blueprint August last year. So what's that, 10 months? And I think he achieved just over £100,000 in turnover, 18 grand in profit in just over 6.5 months, because he was annoyed at not being able to do it within the 6 months. So
that was around the time I started looking into the courses as well. I always think to myself, if I'd have just put £1,000 in then, where I'd be now, but I can't live in the past.
Yeah, can't live in the past, sure. So yes, I think, you know, I'll just drop a link. If anyone is interested in getting a call booked in with Liam, just going to pop where are you?
Yeah, I'd love to speak with some of you guys. Any and every situation. Let's get some calls in. Let's sort of tear apart exactly where you're at, and I can show you exactly what can be done. And if nothing else, you'll get some good free advice.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of calls that have kind of went on. I mean, I had calls at the start of the year there. Helped a few people out with a few things. Once they implemented them, then yeah, there's that option as well. So to book a call. Oops, I just hit enter too early, but there you go. So there's a post from Luke. If you want to get a call booked in, again, a call with Liam, Eamon, and do so on that. There you go. Cool. So we're around about the halfway point. We have 17 people watching live, so you're all very welcome. So question for yourself. Let's have a look. So, Powell, question: what is your view on helping sellers that are in the game for 2 or 3 years and doing well? Do you have strategy options to scale these businesses even more?
Yeah.
How would you answer that, Liam?
Absolutely. I don't know exactly what position this particular person is in, but I mean, I've even, I won't get any names or anything, but I've spoken to a guy today that's come onto one of our 1 to 4 courses where he'll get, there'll be Luke, so he'll get 13 calls with Luke and him and a couple of other people, along with a great package of all the video training, lots of extras, some leads provided for the first few months, and he's already sort of turning 20,000 a month plus, so he's already got to that success point, but needs the systems in place to take it to that next level. And that's where Luke really thrives. That's what his bread and butter is. He loves that stuff, so he will literally get his business taken inside out, and we'll get him a plan, and he'll stick to that plan, and we'll make sure he sticks to that plan. So yeah, absolutely. We try and cater all the way through from anybody starting, but then we have the 1-on-4, and we go even further and have a 1-on-1 where physically you'll be having 8 separate calls over a period of time with just Luke, getting a business plan together and helping you scale. And it's all about having the correct systems in place so that you can, a replenishment system, your VAs in place, make sure that you're able to kind of start stepping away as well. If you get to that higher level of income and you don't have those in place, you'll get to a point where you can't take any money out of it. It becomes just like a cash merry-go-round and if you're too scared to take a wage out of it, because it'll all crumble underneath you, and it does to a lot of people. So yeah, in answer to that, absolutely, we can look at that for you. I'm sure there'll be something we can do.
Yeah, I mean, good example. I'm sure they won't mind me saying the Hamiltons. The Hamiltons have taken the blueprint and the 1-on-1, I think 1-on-1 or 1-on-4 coaching from Luke anyway. And they're now, I think they've went from doing 20,000 a month to 45, 50,000 a month in terms of turnover on Amazon. So yeah, I mean, there is a lot of work that is involved with that. I would say for me, getting to know Luke, and what's kind of just a penny drop moment for me, selling on Amazon retail, it's a cash flow business. So not to use a cliche too much, but money in, money out. So it's all about cash flow. It's all about leveraging systems to basically use the power of compounding cash flow. So Luke had a scholarship for a very, very good accountancy degree and dropped out because, well, he'll explain himself, but really he figured out that he could live the life that he wanted selling on Amazon, but he also has the fundamentals in kind of finance, VAT, and that sort of thing. So yeah, any coaching that Luke provides 1-on-1 or a group of 1 to 4 has those fundamentals. So I mean, for me, I dropped out of uni. I was doing a sports degree, was a carpenter, and then I got into different jobs in business development. I don't have that basis in cash flow or basis in finance, which is really important in this type of business. So I think that's what a lot of people maybe don't realize with Luke and why he's been so successful. And I think looking around, that's maybe what a lot of people maybe are lacking. So yeah, that's a big part of his success. Certainly big thing that he's helped us with. So yeah, I think it's important to get that across as well. I don't know if you would agree with that, Liam.
Yeah, absolutely. In the last few weeks, I've already spoken to quite a lot of people, and anybody that has already got any kind of moderate success is having some form of problem to do with them former systems. So they've not got the cash flow, the return on investment's not strong enough, so it's almost like they're working for minimum wage, or they've gone through the VAT threshold, don't know what to do. Like all these kind of problems that they're easily, if you're starting out on your own, there's so many different moving parts to it. But if you can follow a blueprint from somebody that's already successful, and even to the point there where you can get 1-on-1 calls, 1-on-1 advice, like you literally can't go wrong. And even to the point where that confident that, that there are guarantees offered of if you're not getting to where you should be, which you won't find at these type of businesses because there's nowhere with products as strong.
Yeah. No, actually, money back guarantee is very powerful, and if there's anyone on the fence, then yeah, money back guarantee is there for. We haven't had to honor it at all, so yeah, we're confident in what we offer, and yeah, jump on a call if you are interested in either starting or scaling the business that you've currently got. So that's there. So let's have a look. Liam, is there anything, I mean, I think we kind of mentioned this a little bit. You mentioned the chap in New York who just been made redundant, whatever it was. What would you say someone who's a good fit for this program, what do they look like? Are they, what sort of characteristics they would have, what their background is?
It's changed a lot.
Sort of...
It's changed a lot just in my few weeks here. I mean, I've done a lot. I've been doing 3 or 4 calls at least a day. It's changed a lot. At first, I thought it was one sort of type of person, maybe somebody in the 30s with a bit of disposable income, wants the side hustle or wants to leave work. But I've already put people onto courses from all walks of life, from people in their late 60s, from somebody that's 18. So any kind of age. I think the kind of characteristics that we're looking for to be a good fit is somebody that's going to come on board and represent us well. They're going to come on board and take it seriously, follow the training, do what we're asking them to do, ask questions when they've got issues, all that kind of stuff, have realistic expectations. They know that it's going to be a long-term commitment to get to that point of being able to step away from work or to have a huge income. And that's why another reason we like to do the calls as well is because it's a call to see if we're a good fit for you or if you're a good fit for us. And if not, at the end of the day, we've got a good contact there. We'll give you some advice and maybe it's something we can help you with down the line.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, just if there's anyone else that has any burning questions, or even if you want a little bit of advice on what a call looks like, feel free to drop a comment. We've got 15 people on the call currently. So if anyone has any questions for us, feel free to ask. So yeah, I mean, you are planning on escaping the UK and the bad weather then in a few months' time then, Liam? Is that the plan?
As soon as that second vaccination needle leaves my arm, Lloyd.
Fair enough. Straight to the airport. Yeah,
we'll be gone, but we're going to do it a little bit differently now because I've got the online work and I'm starting my own store. We can do it a bit differently. So we're going to downsize where we live and get kind of a nice apartment, something in an old mill or something that's easy to keep up, or a small mortgage, and that means I just want a lot more fluid life. So there's a good chance that each year I'm going to head away for the winter, come back for the summer. That's got to be the dream, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's kind of what Thomas is doing at the moment, as far as concerned.
I don't blame him. I half regret coming back I didn't have, my tenants wanted to move out, my brother-in-laws, and we were running out of money a bit, but it was difficult coming back. And I got back, I had to quarantine for 2 weeks. And then after that 2 weeks, I literally came from paradise in Mexico, the most beautiful place, to inside my house for 14 days, to starting a job in the centre of Leeds city centre. It was like, I've never known a culture shock like it. Like, nearly killed me.
Wow. Latino America to Leeds city centre. Very good. Yeah. Yeah. That's some difference. Cool.
It is, but like you were saying earlier as well, Lloyd, it's easily doable for a lot of people. And I'm speaking to people every day that are either at that stage or they're going to be at that stage within a few months. If you're serious about building your Amazon business, some people just like to flip some products. It's a bit of fun, maybe deal with the retail, get a few grand here and there fighting. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But I suppose what we're looking for are people that want to come on and run it as a business. Our whole model bases it so that we teach you how to run your own business, all the different moving parts you need to take care of, and every different part of it, we can give you the right advice, the right training, the extra coaching, anything you need. There's options there for you. So if any of you are even half thinking about it, then just jump on a call for free. Literally, I'll go through it. We'll have a call. We'll share my screen with you. I'll talk you through all the different course options. We'll spend a good hour and a half. We'll go into your circumstances. We'll look at some financials, and we'll really see whether it's actually worthwhile or not. Are you the right fit for us? Are we the right fit for you? And if not, you're going to come off that call in a lot better place than you did. And already, I'm no expert like some of these guys like Lloyd and Eamon and Luke yet, but already I know for a fact I've saved people a lot of pain, time, money, effort just by giving them snippets of information that they've been misfed. I've seen some real horror stories, people paying 5,000, 8,000 for courses, not getting much back off them. It's, hiring virtual assistants that then, don't end up doing the work and taking the money because they've not gone down the right route. We can assist with all these, each and every possible point. Luke has ensured that the blueprint covers it. And that's why it's so different. A lot of these courses, you pay a fortune, you'll get given all the information to be able to sell on Amazon. That's easy. That's not what we sell. You can go on YouTube and get that information. It's the systems behind it, the support that you need, the information, the training to be able to do it all yourself. And if you don't go down that route, at some point you will end up struggling.
Yeah, I think the VA is a really the virtual assistant side of things is a really interesting thing to look at. There's a chap that I had a call with, and he was like, yeah, I want to do this, I want to do that, I'm going to get a VA. Okay, what are your numbers? Are you comfortable reading Kiva, that type of thing? And he kind of said no, but if I hire a VA who's trained, surely they can just do it. So I kind of put it back to him that you have a VA and they show you some work, or you have an employee or whatever it is, and they show you some work. How do you know that they've done a good day's work if you can't do it yourself?
Yeah, exactly that.
So I think, I'm sure a couple of them will watch this. I absolutely love my team. They're awesome. It's all about the team for me. And I finally got that sixth person starting tomorrow. And I'm really looking forward to just turning this up now that everything's kind of flattened out. And just recently, over the past 2 or 3 weeks, I'm not sure the story that I shared previously, Liam, but I feel that the business to them is making a real difference, and I feel that we're really starting to go through the gears. So I absolutely love it. I wouldn't want to do what I was doing before, where I was doing everything myself. I still enjoy sourcing if I do a little bit of it. I can still find products and things, but when it comes to outsourcing that type of thing, then I would find it very difficult to basically take that responsibility on of someone else and not be confident in what I'm doing, because at the end of the day, that is someone that could be working for someone else. And if you're not confident and you're not up to scratch yourself, you're kind of messing things up for two people, yourself and someone else halfway across the world that's, putting their hopes and things on a career. So yeah, I think that it's important to look at, there's kind of two, a great book I would recommend anyone to read is E-Myth, Why Small Businesses Fail and What to Do About Them, and What to Do About It, sorry. So there's kind of three different elements of business. You've got an employee, you have a technician, you have a manager, and you have the entrepreneur. So what people find, or what I found when I found on a lot of calls that I took, that people were trying to go from the technician to the entrepreneur, or the technician to the manager, and they didn't quite have the skill set for that. So provide a lot of support around that. So it's things like, how you delegate those tasks off, writing SOPs, so standard operating procedures for different tasks. So you can do something once and implement that across the business. So there is a lot to it. So let's just see. Nope, we're all very quiet this evening. We're down to 13. In terms of what's kind of a bit of a sneak peek, I mentioned Eamon. Eamon's doing some coaching tonight. The coaching tonight that he is covering is all around all things wholesale. I do a little bit of wholesale. The 2 pallets arrived earlier. I would say it's probably half and half. I don't even know. It's probably half and half online arbitrage, half wholesale. I think during COVID, it was definitely more kind of a third, two-thirds. Eamon would be much more heavily weighted towards wholesale. He runs his own shed, his own kind of mini warehouse, does all his own prep, has people working for him to do that. So we're doing some kind of tentative coaching around wholesale for our Blueprint students, and we are looking to launch something very, very soon in the wholesale space. We have authority to do it, self, Eamon, and we're using some other people who will remain nameless to put this course together. So it will be everything from kind of high level, how to approach suppliers, how to speak to them, how to, brand yourself, to the technical elements of like small and light, reading Keepa when Amazon on the list, that type of stuff. So yes, we are going to be looking to do that well, pretty soon. Pretty soon. So if anyone has any kind of tentative questions around that, be interesting to know if anyone's looked at wholesale, if anyone's interested in kind of what that looks like, or if anyone is interested in beta testing or anything like that, feel free to drop myself or Liam or even Eamon, Luke, a message to say, yeah, I'm interested in wholesale. Again, we are going to be, as Liam explained, we are going to be picking the right people for this. We want people who are serious about their business and want to have the means and the mindset necessary to do that.
Absolutely.
So if anyone is interested in that, drop myself, Liam, Luke, or Eamon a message. You can explain a little bit about why you feel you'd be a good fit for that, and we will consider that. So
that's one of the main things I love with sort of the iGen team as it is as well at the moment. There's every base is covered, so Luke is kind of like the grandmaster with it, especially on the financial side and the business plan, the strategy, all that kind of things. And then Lloyd and Eamon sort of both running their own successful businesses. Eamon, more so on the wholesale, Lloyd more so on the online stuff. It's every base is covered, so it's not just like you go through your course and then there's nobody there. The way that the course has been built out, as opposed to having to pay, 10,000 upwards for having this one-on-one support. The aim is that you're going to be working with your peers. Your peers are going to be helping you along. You're going to ask them questions. Me, Lloyd, Eamon, Luke, we're always going to be in and around the groups. So you don't necessarily need all that one-on-one time. We do have courses that will give you that, but it means that we've got courses that are affordable to everybody, and you're still going to get your questions answered when you want to. Worst case, you're going to go into the group and ask, and if nothing else, you're going to show up on a Wednesday night to the question and answer, ask it, and you're going to get the answer from an expert, as opposed to Googling it, getting bad information. Just watching one YouTube video that guides you the wrong way could cost you thousands, could cost you weeks in time. Like it's very important that you get a mentor or you get on a course with people that you trust and that you can stay with long term, and can kind of go through that journey.
There's some massive Facebook groups out there. It's absolutely massive Facebook groups. There's anything from kind of 5,000, 10,000. I think there's massive kind of 20+ thousand Facebook groups. I don't know what sort of purpose they kind of serve if you ask a question. So if you throw up a question in a group with 15,000 people in it, you'll get maybe 100 different answers. You don't know these people. You don't know if they're even selling on Amazon. So when people have access to an actual Mastermind Facebook group, you throw up a question and you'll get an answer from myself, Luke, Eamon, or a peer, someone who's in the same position you are, that maybe just been through that process, and you'll get an answer from someone who you know is genuine and has a similar kind of background and set up to yourself. So the big Facebook groups are very useful for kind of, I don't know what you call it, maybe like big news, things like IPI. So kind of big changes, you'll kind of hear them you'll kind of hear about big changes on Facebook groups before you get an email from Amazon. So it's good that way. But really for kind of advice, you kind of want to keep that circle quite small. Well, that's what we found, and that's what we find is quite helpful.
It's so true, and I've had some similar feedback as well. Like the big groups do serve a purpose, and you'll meet people in them. You'll get high level information. You might get tips on certain things, but when it comes down to you having a specific issue that's stopping you from moving forwards, and you've just got a group where there's maybe 100 and some, including a few absolute experts, you're going to get the absolute right answer, somebody that you can trust in that then is going to follow up with you. So it really is kind of powerful. And the way that Luke's built out these courses is to go full circle. It's completely watertight. And that's why we're so confident with them. So again, anybody that's even slightly interested, even if it's just you've got a bit of a direction issue, jump on, let's have a look at where you're at. If it's something that a course may help you, then we'll show you the ins and outs of that. If not, we'll try helping anyway. We share resources with people, even if they don't come on courses. We'll give advice. We don't want to run like the other businesses. We want to be more of a community.
Absolutely. I think we kind of covered quite a lot there. So if anyone has any burning questions the next couple of minutes, we'll get them answered. Or if you want to in confidence send a message or anything like that, feel free. I'll drop another link to get a call booked in. But kind of on, just to talk about next week. Next week we are interviewing a chap called Mark Horley. So Mark Horley is the founder and owner of Passive Tax. He is an e-commerce specialist accountant. Luke will be interviewing him rather than myself. We are going to be talking about all things to do with whatever you like: tax, VAT, cash flow, funding, anything that's pertinent to running a cash flow business, e-commerce business, selling on Amazon. You'll be able to, throw up a question, and there will be a qualified accountant there to answer them. So, I'll give you a little bit of teaser on that. There is a lot happening with iGen at the moment. Meeting last week, very exciting. There's going to be some really exciting guests coming up on the live in the next few weeks. Got Mark next week, and we are looking at developing something in the wholesale space to help people get into that side of things. Wholesale is something that does, it's not very well, how can I put it? You can go onto Argos now, buy something, very low barrier of entry, and send it into Amazon. Wholesale takes a lot of work, it takes an approach, and it takes a strategy. So if anyone is interested in that, drop us a message and we will consider that. So is there anything else that you would like to cover, Liam, or mention just before we say good evening to everyone?
No, I think that's it really. Anybody that's watching or anybody that catches up on the live, if you want any assistance or you want to have a little look further, jump on a call with me. Now's the right time. I'm still sort of building up. I'm dealing with a lot of calls, but I've got some gaps, so we can get you in. We can show you what we're all about. And I think in the coming weeks as well, we're discussing a lot of other things. We want to increase our suite of products. So we've got some fantastic courses, but, possibly even split some of them out where you can just, buy some of the individual products themselves. So for instance, if what you're specifically struggling with, everything's fine, but you just need assistance with your VAT, or everything's fine, or you just need us to hire a virtual assistant for you that will be trained to the right standard. There's lots of things that we can do, not necessarily just big courses that are going to cost a lot of money. There's all sorts we can do. So anybody at all, just drop us a line. Drop me a message on Facebook. I'm going to be in and around the groups, people that are commenting. I'm going to be jumping on you. I'm going to be asking you questions. I'm going to be finding out where you're at and hopefully speaking to some of you a bit more.
Cool. Love it. Well, guys, if there is anything else, apologies if my microphone's been a bit funny, but if there's anything else, drop us a message and have a great evening. Take care, guys.
Have a good one, guys.